All right, Jessica, if you're still watching, can you hear me? I hope you're still watching. Um, oh, okay. Let me see. Let's try this real quick. I do apologize. Can you hear me now? All right, can you hear me now? If you can. Um, I think I hit a button. I don't know what you guys have heard. I apologize for it today. This is my first stream since June. I'm a little a little off. But anyway, so yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah. So anyway, I'm going back to animation. I'm loving that stuff. I'm buying older stuff that comics that I loved and trades. And I've recently bought these over the last few months. I have stuff in the mail. All right. Even was at Barnes and Nobles one day and picked up I don't know what year this is from. It's, I think, a little older. 2017 was the first printing. Captain Harlock, love that stuff. Okay. But the other day I was at the comic shop and I bought a bunch of things because I wanted to see what would excite me. I haven't read this one yet, but it's a Frazetta Death Dealer, and I heard it was a really good book, so I'm going to give it a try. It's issue 3, but I'll start. I'll start over here. I'll start with that one. I'll look at those. I haven't read those yet. Now I read issue 1 and 2 of Beware the Eye of Odin. It's an interesting concept. I like the art a lot. All right. And it's only the first couple of issues, and I will read a few more. I'm going to say that right now. I want to get a couple of more of these, issues 3, 4, maybe even up to 5, and see if it pulls me in. But I felt between issues 1 and 2, it was a little slow moving. But I hope it picks up because I love the concept that's going on in here. I don't want to spoil anything, but if you see this book, Beware the Eye of Odin, check it out. It's a really nice concept, but at the moment it's moving a little slow. I'm hoping it picks up in issue 3, but I will give this to issue 5. Just letting you know that right now. I'm not too much into horror, but I figured, but I like the artwork in here. So, Vampirus Camilla, I picked up a copy of that. I haven't read that yet. I'm trying to give stuff that I never gave a chance. So I picked up this trade of the Power Rangers. Now I'm going to tell you right now, I was never a Power Rangers fan. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not a Power Rangers fan. When they came out in '93, I was in 11th grade. It wasn't anything that was my major interest. It was silly to me. But I picked it up to give it, and I'm not far in. I'm still I probably just finished what would have been the first issue, and I like it. It's different, and but I do like the idea of the Super Sentai stuff, and I picked up these books here, Radiant Black, and I think I picked up 2 Radiant Blacks, and then Rogue Sun, which is like an image version of it, and I believe who is on here? The writer of this is writing Rogue Sun. I also picked up this one, which was another, kind of same style, comes off of Ultraman here, Redman. It was a little bit of a fun book, very actiony. I could totally picture everything like animated or live action and stuff. But, I can't say I'm like super excited yet for what I've purchased or the Power Ranger or anything, but I'm interested in it. I'm very interested in it at the moment. Is there another book in here? Oh, nope. I just picked up some actual, some magic cards too, because why not, right? Um, but yeah, so that's it. And so I'm going to be heading over to doing animation. But like I said, I'm not leaving comics completely behind. I do have a few ideas that should be comic based. Um, but for those who haven't seen, and I couldn't really talk about it much, I made a couple of posts on social media. But back in July, this book came out. The what's it called? Zorro's Exploits. I illustrated 2 stories in here. It's by Bold Venture Press. You can go to boldventurepress.com, or I think you can find it on Amazon as well. Let's see if I can find my work real quick. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just go to the title page here of one of my stories. That's not it. This is it. So, like, that's one of my pieces there. The other artwork could spoil what's going on. And then the other one's in the back of the book here. That's not it. That's not it. It's one of the last stories here. And then here's another piece of my work that is in there. Again, it's $20 on Bold Venture Press if you're interested. It's all it's all prose, great stories. If you can pick it up, pick it up. Excuse me. So yeah, I'll still do some illustrations like that for books. I will still do comics if I have a story that I think should only be told in comics. But I'm moving over to animation now, and when I start my podcast back up, I will have some people who worked on that Zorro book come on, and we're going to talk about it, because I will say this: Zorro is my all-time favorite fictional character. And let me give the screen there, and I'm going to do a little drawing while I talk. So Zorro's my all-time favorite fictional character, and to be asked to work on this was a dream come true. My friend Don Smith, who wrote one of the stories I illustrated, he was writing the story first, and then someone asked him if he knew anyone who could draw, and he knows my love of Zorro. So for me, this was a dream project to work on. And maybe I'll do a little Zorro right now. But actually, I think I'm gonna curve his back like that. But yeah, so like this really was a dream come true to work on. And I will do, if they ask me to do another Zorro book or any other type of like pulp style. I love the pulp characters like the Shadow and the Spider and all those guys. I love, me, I love public domain characters. But Zorro's always been one of my favorite. I've watched the Guy Williams Zorro I don't know how many times. I watched the Tyrone Power story, version. I don't know how to say. I'm bad with last names, but the one from the New World Zorro, who's on the cover. Is it Duncan Regehr or something? But and I've seen other interpretations. The Filmation cartoon I loved. Yeah, I've seen a few of the other cartoons. And I loved everything. I've read the original Curse of Capistrano and some of the other stuff. The stories in this one, by the way, I've read a few. I haven't read them all yet, but I've read a few of them, and they're good. Even the ones that I didn't illustrate, they're fantastic stuff. Um, okay, let's just get that hand out like so. Um, and just love that Lone Ranger. I'm a huge fan of. Anyway, I'm sorry I got quiet for a moment. Happens when I draw. I tend to forget what I'm doing and tune out everything else around me so I can focus. Let's get his. Let's have the cape going out like that on that side, and this one's going to come in. Whoa, sorry about that. What the heck happened? That was weird. Sorry about that. And I need a little bit more. I think I'm going to bring this leg back. And this leg forward. Anyway, I would love to do more Zorro stuff. I'm not going to finish him right now, but let me talk about a little bit about what I'm doing now and what's going on with the type of characters I'm looking at. And so I used to, back in 2019, I drew my strip The Wiz, which you can read on Instagram at The Wiz Comic, and it's also that on Facebook, so you can go and that's what it is. And this is The Wiz, and he was just a little wizard. Actually, his beard did not do that. And it was a little humor strip, and I started it, and it was released on October 1st, 2019. And I started it because I just wanted to see, or 2018, sorry. And I wanted to see if I could do a comic completely on my iPad. And turned out I could. But I experimented with different software and things until I found out what I really liked. And honestly, if I wasn't using Clip Studio Paint or I wasn't using Photoshop, I wasn't happy with the way the comic is. But I was testing different things, so the style kind of changed throughout. And I was testing humor. I was testing a bunch of different things. And this is The Wiz. And he had his familiar here. And his familiar was a raven. Oops. And he looks a little worried there. Let's fix that up. And he had, I think it was 2 on that side. It's been a while since I've drawn him. So yeah, that's not the best Ajax I've ever drawn, but that's Ajax and the Wiz. And you know, it was a little thing, and I liked it. You know, when I look back at it originally, I didn't like anything I did, but I think every artist is like that. And then I went back and I reread it. I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. I even put a book out, or the book's coming out with a collection of all the strips, hopefully in the next couple of months. But I really enjoyed the Wiz, and I wanted to bring them back. And I wrote a bunch of strips, but I thought about it and I said, you know what, I'm moving everything over to kind of animation, so I'm gonna start animating the Wiz. So let's get a better drawing of the Wiz. It's like I said, it's been a while. Um, um, so the idea behind it was just, you know, a couple of friends, you know, like stories about just trying to do, you know, some humor stuff. And it was about you know, the Wiz and having some just fun, and you know, the characters I created around them, and a fan favorite. I'll draw him in a moment, but he's a little short guy right here, but very powerful, and he can get very angry very quickly. And um, you know, he could be very sarcastic. Him and Ajax, I think, play well off each other. But there was a character that I created. I'm going to put him down here. That this is the fan favorite. He is a vampire. Kind of has a Fred Flintstone looking. He's a, you know, happy vampire there. Okay, he's got his bow tie right here, and this comes up. He's got his cloak. A little chubby. And I'm going to have to shrink him down. But this right here is Count Dracula. So instead of fangs, he has straws, and he's a vampire for soda. So when he turns into a bat, the bat actually looks like this, like a bottle of soda. And that's him there. So characters like that are going to start getting animated. I have another character. I am actually a fan of 60s anime. You know, Astro Boy and things like that. And I wanted to do a tribute to that, to the 60s anime. And I decided, I was looking at some of my characters that I have and that I've never done anything with. And I have a character called Cosmic Kid. You know, I created him, honestly, I was probably in 6th grade or something when I created him, but I always just liked him. And originally he was a kid that looked like this. He had a little puffed out cheek. His eyes were like that, a little cute nose, and he kind of had a suit that looked like all my, you know, Plunger Pup character suits. And he had a symbol that looked like that. And then I realized, looking at him one day, and this is one of the reasons I never finished or did anything with him, is his symbol is the symbol that the astronauts use on the Lego figures. The Lego astronauts are. So I said I shouldn't do that. So anyway, I was looking at him and I said, well, what if I really decided to give him that 60s anime, almost, I don't want to say chibi style, but a little Astro Boyish chibi, you know. So I'm just going to get his head a little bit bigger now. And his eyes will be over here. I have a picture of, you know what, actually, let me pull him up on my phone so I make sure I'm doing everything correct. Where did I put him? So there he is. Okay. So give him some eyes. I want his nose actually to be a little different here, to look more like that. Let's give him a little highlight there. All right. I'm going to give him his ear over here. And yeah, I do give him a neck because sometimes they didn't really have a neck. And his body. Let's do that. So he has a little collar on his shirt. And then let me just draw it out this way before I do anything. So these are the type of characters you'll be seeing from me on and off as I work and I start posting things. You'll be seeing more of this as well as some other kind of cartoony characters. All right, and this comes down. And what I've done is I've changed his symbol just to basically the planet Saturn to make it easier. So now he just kind of looks like that. And he's got a armband up here, which comes down. We'll just make a fist for now. One, 2, 3, 4. We'll do that. And then his hair. 1, 2. Did I do 2? Yeah, I did 2. And then a scoop down. This is over here. And then a scoop out to the side. And then one that pops up here. And then this comes out like so. And he's got a little curl in the back. So this right here is the new Cosmic Kid. I'll be defining his other characters. And there's only like, maybe 3 or 4 other actual main characters. There's his girlfriend style character, if you want to call her that. There's a professor. And then there's like the police captain and a couple of other, 1 or 2 other characters that you might consider mainstream. Not mainstream, main characters, but the rest is going to be just, besides the bad guy, just things I add into it. And he'll be, he fights things like giant robots and all, and the like. So, and I'm not sure I'm going to do it yet, but I was thinking of, keeping the feel of the 60s and animating everything in grayscale so it has that old school feel to it. Not 100% sure yet. But yeah, so that's the carry on his feet. Sorry, forgot to color those in too. So this is the new version of this guy right here. So this guy went from that to that, and he's going to be who I'm animating now. So right now it's definitely going to be the Wiz and this character, as well as a couple of other characters that I have. And I'm not rushing on it. You probably won't see any real animation for at least 6 months from me. I'm writing some scripts. I'm taking some of my comic scripts and rewriting them as animation scripts. I'm taking I'm looking for voice actors right now. I'm also trying to find funding so I can pay people. So hopefully right now I got people who will just be happy to maybe donate some time just to get a couple done so I could use them to maybe go fund stuff. But yeah, no, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about starting to animate again. I'm excited about all this going on. It's unfortunately comics don't excite me anymore, but this does. Telling stories, and they're not going to be long. If they're more than 3 minutes, they're gonna that's long. I do have one that's set up for like 8 minutes. And it's in a classic kind of combination between Hanna-Barbera and Looney Tunes type of humor and style of animation. That's one of the things. I love a bunch of different types of animation. So depending on the character, they will be animated differently. So some may be done full motion, some may be done symbol animation, if you guys know what that is. Well, Dylan will have to talk. But yeah, so that's what's been going on. I'm just kind of in a transition right now, so I'll be posting some work here and there, some sketches. Obviously, not everything I do will be animated that you see me post, but I will be doing so. I have an idea for a fantasy short, like a 5-minute fantasy short. As you guys know and you see. Let me just take this down for a second. As you see behind me, I got my Lord of the Rings poster. I'm a huge Tolkien fan. Love Lord of the Rings. I actually recently restarted listening to the books on audio because I just don't have the time to read. So I go on YouTube and I look up an audio version of it, and I'm just listening to it. And you're an anime. Well, Dylan, like I said, we'll talk. But yeah, so I got a few things, in my head that I'm playing with, and I'm gonna start things slowly. But I think for the most part, the Wiz is going to be my main focus right now. I'm going to be taking some of the comics that I already have posted online as the basis to start the animations. I'll be rewriting a few because now I could do movement and I could add other jokes in there. So yeah, I'll be starting on that, and we'll see how things go. But like I said, I don't think this project that I'm looking to start, and I probably won't start it for another few weeks with actually maybe having a complete storyboard for at least 1 or 2 Wiz shorts. And the Wiz, they'll be like a minute at the most. The idea for me is that you're still kind of looking at a moving comic with the Wiz. So if he's 30 seconds to a minute, I'm happy. I want it to be quick stuff. But yeah, like you see the Frazetta piece behind me that inspired a fantasy story. Just like Lord of the Rings, it added to it. But the Frazetta, just looking at Frazetta art, so I might do this a little bit more. A little more heroic looking, in more of like a comic type of style. I'm a big fan of what's that one on Is it on Hulu now, or I don't remember. It might be on, no, HBO Max. The Jendy Tartakovsky um, Primal. I love that. I'm not going to copy that style because, hey Dell, I'm not going to copy that style, but I do have an idea for something like that, you know. So yeah, like I said, I'm kind of moving away. I'm going to get going in a few because I got to be at work in an hour, and I want to just, you know, do a few things before that. But yeah, like I said, this is what I'm doing. I'm kind of leaving comics. I'm unfortunately that my passion and my love is for creating is gone right now. I hope it does come back because, you know, like I said, they are one of my favorite mediums. You know, you're limited to just your skill with a pencil and your imagination. So if you, like I said, if you can draw it, you can imagine it, you can go there and do it. They're fantastic. So I'm hoping to get excited again, but right now it's animation, and that's what I love. I really do. But yeah, so anyway, guys, I'm gonna get going. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I apologize for the sound issues. This was my first stream since June, since my last Get in Tune podcast. I'm going to be starting Get in Tune up again in a couple of weeks. I hope my voice hasn't been too bad for you guys. I'm almost back to normal, but it could take months before I'm back to normal. So I feel the little scratchiness in my throat. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah, so that's what's been going on. That's the changes going on at my at Michael Gracia Studios here. Thank you, you too, Dell. Dylan will talk, like I said. But yeah, so that's what's been going on. That's what's happening. You'll be seeing stuff from me. Excuse me. Let me have a sip of water. You'll be seeing things coming from me soon. But I'm not going to be premiering anything for at least 6 months. But I think you can know a good year before you see a completed piece, and not from today. Just letting you know that. Don't think if you come back, you know, what is today? August is today the 14th, 15th, something like that. If you come back that day, a year from now, that I'll have the project done. No, give me a few weeks to start. I may not start till September, even October. But by the time I'm ready to start, I'm giving myself a year date to have something completed. And maybe later I'll talk about, not now, but in the future, I'll talk about my plans for distributing them, because it's not just going to be dropping them on YouTube. I have plans for them. So anyway, with that, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Again, I hope my voice wasn't too bad, and hope to see you soon on Get in Tune. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye, guys.